Try Before We Die, the whiskey review show where we don't know what we're drinking, but we'll tell you what we're thinking. Hey, Mal. Yeah, just like you promised. That's good. Just a big thanks to everybody who's been subscribing. Our numbers have gone up. We really appreciate you hitting the subscribe button and telling your friends about the show.
Yes, please.
Yeah, unscripted, unplanned. We don't know what we're going to drink today.
No, and there's some gems.
There are some hidden gems in plain view. Well, I'm going to push the button and we'll find out what bottle number we have today. Ready?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
No.
Tell me.
Now.
Ooh. It's right behind me. Didn't even have to do the math because there's 15 in each row. 15, 30, 45 brings us to a Glenmorangie, the Cognac Cask.
Oh, very nice.
This is a 13-year-old. I think this might be part of their small batch releases. Yes. Well, let's get it open and breathing, and we'll talk a little bit more about Glenmo.
Have we done a Cognac Cask before?
We have. See if you can figure it out. As always, number comes up, we open these.
Was it the Ben?
Nope.
All right, then don't even think about it.
Camping. Danielle. Fire.
Was it Tulip Ardeen, was it?
Glenlivet.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And we did one here on the show too, I think.
That's right, the Flames.
That was a little tuba.
It was like a soft tuba, but not a tuba.
Correct.
Ooh.
There's like no air bubble.
A little bit. Well, you're back to your good pouring.
All right. The 13-year-old small batch release from Glenmo. Cognac Cask, bottled in 21, 13 years, 46 ABV. This is a full 750. This Cognac Cask Finished small batch release. Threads clove, pepper, and hints of leather through Glenmo's signature mellow fruity notes. The Glenmorangie 13-year-old Cognac Cask.
And I do like the older stickering.
The old labels.
Yes.
They have a new label coming out. It's really big letters. It's sort of a vertical read.
Yes.
I do like the older labels too. Perhaps that's just our memories kicking in.
And we're old.
You're older than me. And we're unfamiliar with the new labeling. Glenmorangie, one of my favorite distilleries.
One of the house favorites.
Yes, for sure. Do you have a favorite Glenmo that you've had?
Not really. I don't have one that stands out.
He's absolutely not telling the truth. He's not thinking. So I'm going to prompt Malcolm with a hint.
No, I don't.
Anniversary?
I don't have one.
Anniversary?
Yes, the Signet.
We really do love the Signet
that
around
is an
here.
amazing drink.
It is just an amazing drink. And there are a number of Glenmos here. We actually went whiskey shopping recently, and we found a couple of the Glenmo Quinta Rubin 12-year-olds because they've moved into new labeling at the 14-year-old. So, but the 12 is just a spectacular pour.
And why were they spectacular? Why were you excited to get those?
Well, one, it's been discontinued at the 12-year age,
Okay.
and it just that port cask finish. It just seems like it. Sometimes the longer it ages, it mellows out a little. So at 12, it just was a little more robust than at 14. Not unlike an Isla, a peated whiskey. The longer that the peated whiskey ages, you lose some of the intensity of the peat flavoring. Glenmorangie, well known for what sort of finishes?
Sherry.
So a lot of different wine finishes. Unscripted. This is being recorded live. Well, let's talk a little bit about this Cognac Cask here. This 13-year-old from Glenmo. And they do note that the base is just this floral, fruity whiskey. The Glenmoe Original, the 10-year-old, is just a wonderful drink. My wife, Danielle, loves the Original 10.
Yes.
Yep.
It's
All
a
right.
special buy for us.
All right. What have you got for a color?
That's amber through and through.
As in, we could find a prehistoric bug in it?
Yes.
Yeah, it really is. It's clear. It's got good reflection. It's not terribly dark. I just quickly want to look and see if they note anything about filtration or color. Non-chill filtered. And certainly they're not mentioning coloration. I would say this though, at 13 years, I'm not feeling like it's absurdly dark in terms of a marketing perspective, especially in comparison to what the 10-year-old looks like. So I guess I'm always hopeful that there's no E150. We're in agreement. This is an amber whiskey.
Yes.
All right.
And the legs are,
Oh, I see them all over your glass.
yeah.
Yeah.
It portrays that this will have some mouthfeel to it, because that is like,
Well, we certainly have a higher ABV. I think 46 is roughly the minimum you want to have when we talk about non-chill filtered. If you get under the 46, the chill filtration will play a role, especially for the folks who add ice to their drink, and it will turn a little cloudy. All right, are you ready?
yeah.
All right. Having had some Cognac Cask finishes recently, including the Glenlivet, this is very familiar nosing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get the cognac straight off the bat.
So if it's built on the 10-year-old original, I'm feeling like are we probably in the 8 to 12 month range in a Cognac Cask? It could even be 6 to 8, but I would hazard less than a year. Or we'd start to become a little too powerful and lose some of the foundational whiskey.
And is that apple?
You know, a green apple?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not sickly sweet at all, but it is sweet.
And I'm going to throw this one out.
All right, I'm listening.
Toffee?
Interesting.
Like true English toffee?
Guess I can't comment on true English toffee. But I can go with toffee.
It's really pleasant.
There's no alcohol on this nose,
No.
right, at all. And especially at 46%, I was imagining we'd feel a little bit in through the nasal passage, but it's really just about that cognac sweetness, some of that fruity Glenmorangie, foundational spirit. But that's all I'm getting. And I hear you about sort of a brown sweet, right? Like
Yeah.
a toffee, right? Or a very relaxed caramel or something.
But it really is pleasant.
Oh, it's easy.
And it dies off nicely after
Yeah.
a quick peak. It dies off nicely, but it just holds it.
But that's the foundation of Glenmorangie, right? It is just such an easy, pleasant base spirit that they produce.
And it goes back to the every time I talk about this. And obviously, you have a lot more experience across the board, right? You've done your homework. You've done your due diligence. I'm just here to drink, right?
You've mentioned that.
But it's amazing that they can put all these pieces together and have something that smells so pleasant, and then they can somewhere else on the Scotch Isles and whatnot, they can change it up where it becomes this whole like different ball game where it's like, holy moly, I do smell the Band-Aid, I do
Right.
do smell the menthol, I got all this stuff, and it ceases to amaze me that they can do this.
Well, you're talking about the art, right? Because we've all, perhaps in high school, perhaps through an older friend or a sibling, laid our hands on a bottle that when it hit the ground just bounced back up into our hand. And when you unscrewed the cap, it was like, oh, it was awful, right?
Yes.
And this is just the opposite of that. It's just amazingly pleasant.
Yes.
Right? With none of that, oh,
I don't
on
want
the
anything
nose,
to do with this.
right? Like, oh, I just got to get it in me. You know, if that's just about effect, right? This is about experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they do a great job for that experience.
They do. Well, let's give it a taste.
Cheers.
Glenmorangie, cheers, mate. 13-year-old
Cognac.
Cognac Cask. Number one, clearly a Glenmo, right? Clearly that foundational spirit. Light to medium mouthfeel. It's not thin, but it's not deep oil.
No, it's not really.
Right.
There's no real color, but I can feel it.
But there was like almost a moment for me at the very beginning of sort of something sweet just running across my teeth. You know, not granular at all, but there was just something sweet taking place that just added a little element of depth to the body of this whiskey. Very short finish.
Yep.
Not lingering, not lasting. The whole experience seems to be from the tip of the tongue to somewhere about halfway down the throat.
I'm trying to pick up this. You know, it sounds weird, but I want to say strawberry, but there's something there.
Some kind of a red fruit.
Yeah. And it may be just,
Yeah.
maybe cherry.
You know, I mean, I'll put it out there right now. This could be dangerous with how easy this goes down, and at the same time, how clearly this is more than just the Glenmo 10. I could drink a few of these.
So we've drank a lot of the Glenmo 10, right?
Yes.
Thanks to your wife. But
Yes.
and that's a really nice drink. You sit down and you can crack the bottle open and you can work your way through the night, and the next thing you know, you're done with it, and it's just been like, this is really pleasant. This is almost that, and I'm gonna copy you. This is almost the 10, but with a little bit more pizzazz. There's a little bit more to it that just like, ooh, yeah, I don't really get. I get the 10, but there's something else there that I'm really enjoying.
It leveled up.
But it is dangerous.
Right. And it built upon this foundation at the 10. It has not eliminated the 10 experience, but it just sort of has enhanced it. The cognac really has just brought in these wonderfully sweet notes on top of this pretty sweet foundational spirit. And yet, it's not too sweet.
No, and you get that sort of cognac finish as you take the end of your sip in.
Yep.
It's like right as you take it in, you can just be like, oh, okay, there's something there. Oh, that's the cognac. And that washes things down.
Right. That's the thing that separates this from just the 10. It's got to be the cognac finish.
But I would like to...
Mal's looking for this flavor, this fruit he's trying to find.
Yeah, I want to say strawberry. Because I don't get like any sort of nuttiness, right? I don't get any candied fruit, but there's something there. Something there.
Well, it's interesting you bring up strawberry because there's some strawberry on the tray today.
I did see
and we
that.
don't always have that. So is that what you're going to do, just to see if that's what happens? Or have you got your eye on something else?
It was either going to be the strawberries, right? And these are, what was this again?
Pineapple.
And the pineapple. It was between those two.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to do the strawberry.
The fruit, right? We have the blackberry as
Yeah.
well, but I don't think it's the blackberry.
No.
I think we have to go something lighter.
I'm going with the strawberry.
I think I'll do the pineapple.
That was an opposite that I didn't think was coming. It
Okay.
almost brought it like a bitter.
Interesting.
I've lost that sweet take at the end, and it was worse to the front. But then all of a sudden it became almost bitter. Like I get the bitterness of the strawberry, that seediness, oh, it is good though.
So I did the pineapple, and what's neat about this pineapple is it carries a strong flavor, and so they sort of went in tandem together.
Oh, really?
Right. So the cognac hung in its lane, the pineapple hung in its lane. They didn't fight at all. That might have been like the third date.
All right.
They're holding hands, and they didn't have to ask.
Okay.
Yeah, they had permission. It was granted ahead of time.
The strawberry wasn't bad.
Yeah.
There's no doubts about it. You could definitely do the strawberry, but it gave it a whole different view on it.
Yeah.
Like I said, there was a little bit more bitterness to it. A little bit more. There wasn't the sweetness that I had. It made it a little bit more.
Well, strawberry is a funny fruit, fresh, especially this time of the year here in New Hampshire. You'll get some strawberries that will be, great color and bland in flavor, and then you'll get some that are just beautifully flavored.
Yep.
And it's hit or miss even in the same container.
I think what would have helped that would have been sugar and cream.
Yeah.
Like a sprinkling of sugar and then some cream, and then you did it, and then you go.
So are you saying this is a nice dessert?
I would say this is definitely a dessert.
Yep.
No doubts about it. But
Right.
again, like we said, it's very easy going. You could pop that whenever you want.
This is a wonderfully sweet whiskey that's not too sweet, coming in at 46%, thus making it risky because you're drinking it not realizing you're drinking such an alcoholic drink. It's I really like this.
Yeah, no, it's one of the. We go back to it. The big houses. The big houses know what they're doing.
Yep.
I don't think sometimes they get the credit in their lesser, not
the core range.
Correct.
Right. Yep.
And they get this where they go on these different tangents, but I think they do such a good job of doing it that they lose some of their credibility because they're just throwing it out because
Right,
everybody
they're
else
just
is doing
pushing
it.
out another release. But
that's really good.
This release they've pushed out is
really
is
good.
good. All right. Well, let's see what the crew has for us today. So I'll read up until the quotes. Okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
Go ahead.
As the renowned philosophers Bill and Ted once said,
Be excellent to each other and party on, dudes. We're gonna find these guys. Cheers.
the Glenmorangie 13 Cognac Cask. This is a nice pour. Are you gonna ask for more because it's worth it?
Yeah, go ahead. Just give me a splash. Give me
Just a splash. If you had told me this was 40% ABV, I would believe you.
Yes.
Coming in at 46 and tasting none of that alcohol just shows some of the art of the craft. Right?
I think the 46 is the sweet spot.
Yes. Right, because it's not moving into medicinal. But again, we've had plenty of 46s where you could taste that alcohol.
Correct. Yes.
Right? And so the fact that I feel like this is almost like just like a sweet, uncarbonated drink. It really not coming across as an alcohol at all. And that's the risk.
Are we going back to the Boone's Farm?
Well, no, that's alcohol. The risk of this is how easy it goes down.
I just enjoying it. Very good.